North Korean leader Kim Jongun says diplomacy with the United States has reached its limits. Experts say that the strategic intention behind this may be to pressure the second Trump administration to restart talks. Russian President Vladimir Putin has claimed Moscow struck Ukraine with a new intermediate-range ballistic missile and warned that more could follow. His remarks come after the Ukrainian military said it had been hit by an intercontinental ballistic missile. Today marks Kimchi Day here in South Korea. Kimchi isn't just a staple for Koreans anymore, as more and more foreigners are visiting the country to enjoy the Korean dish and experience the entire process of making it. It's November 22nd, 8 p.m. in Seoul. This is Newscenter. Amid speculation on whether the second Trump administration will engage in talks with North Korea, Kim Jongun has sent a message to the United States, saying that he believes that past dialogue with Washington has only confirmed the regime's need for nuclear weapons. Our North Korean affairs correspondent Kim Jong-sil starts us off.
North Korean leader Kim Jongun recently stated that diplomacy with the U.S. had reached its limits. Speaking at the National Defense Development 2024 exhibition in Pyongyang on Thursday, Kim stressed that he had, quote, explored all possible avenues of negotiations with the U.S. only to confirm its invasive and hostile policy toward Pyongyang. The South Korean government said Kim's message wasn't far from previous statements made about the U.S.
North Korea has yet to report on President-elect Trump's election results. Kim Jong-un's speech today repeated his previous message, calling for the U.S. to first abandon its hostile policy toward the North.
Experts believe Kim's speech is more than rhetoric, commenting that it's part of a strategy to pressure the incoming U.S. government to restart talks.
Despite distrust toward the United States, this pressures Trump by emphasizing conditions for talks, specifically the withdrawal of hostile policy, while continuing to build North Korea's nuclear arsenal.
Professor Im added Trump may seek another meeting with Kim to differentiate himself from President Joe Biden.
Trump will likely seek talks with Kim Jong-un to set himself apart from Biden, aiming to end the Russia-Ukraine war, restore peace in the Middle East, and eliminate the North Korean nuclear threat.
Pyongyang's annual exhibition ranged from showcasing small drones to the latest ICBMs.
Overall, it seems North Korea is showcasing its readiness for war, while more specifically sending a message to Seoul and Washington not to recklessly pressure or impose sanctions on Pyongyang.
Meanwhile, former Pentagon official Randall Shriver, who was in charge of the Trump-Kim talks in 2018, suggested that Trump may revive diplomacy with Kim, noting the latter's stronger position due to advanced strategic capabilities and support from Russia. Kim Jong-sil, Arirang News.
Russia tested a new hypersonic missile against Ukraine. This is according to Vladimir Putin, who in a televised address rejected claims by Ukraine that it was an intercontinental ballistic missile. Our Park Geon-woo has the details.
On Thursday local time, Moscow fired a new hypersonic missile at Ukraine's Dnipro region, where some fragments of the weapon were reportedly found on site. This comes after Kyiv started launching Western-supplied missiles into Russia over the past few days. Ukraine claimed the weapon was an intercontinental ballistic missile, but Russian President Vladimir Putin dismissed the allegations.
In combat conditions, one of the newest Russian medium-range missile systems was also tested, in this case with a ballistic missile in non-nuclear hypersonic equipment.
Putin added the missile named the Oreshnik was fired in response to aggressive actions of NATO countries against Russia. He cited the Ukrainian use of US-supplied ATACMS and the UK's Storm Shadow missiles against Russia, and also used the word test to describe the launch of the Russian missile, saying that it was successful. On Thursday, Washington confirmed Putin's claim, while saying Russia had pre-notified US officials about the strike, using nuclear risk reduction communication channels.
I can confirm that Russia did launch an experimental intermediate-range ballistic missile. This IRBM was based on Russia's RS-26 Rubezh intercontinental ballistic missile model.
She added if it goes through remodeling, Russia will be able to install a nuclear warhead on the weapon. This comes after Putin approved changing his country's nuclear doctrine on Tuesday, which allows using nuclear weapons when attacked by non-nuclear countries such as Ukraine that's supported by a nuclear state like the US. South Korean National Security Advisor Shin Won-sik said during an appearance on a Korean newscast on Friday that he thinks there's a low possibility of Russia actually using nuclear weapons against Ukraine. Park Gon-woo, Arirang News.
Japan is set to send a vice ministerial level official to this week's memorial service held to remember the victims who were subjected to harsh labor at the gold mines on Sado Island, a place where many thousands of Koreans were forced to work during Japan's colonial rule from 1910 to 1945. Parliamentary Vice Minister of Japan's Foreign Ministry, Akiko Ikuina, will be attending the event on Sunday. Eyes were on who would be at the memorial service from the Japanese government, as South Korea has regarded the level of the official attending the event as a factor that would demonstrate Tokyo's sincerity about its promise to honor the victims' hardships. In July, Japan managed to register the controversial Sado mines on the UNESCO World Heritage Site after South Korea accepted Japan's promise to reflect the mines' full history, including the abuse of Korean laborers. Today, November 22nd, marks Kimchi Day, a day designated to celebrate the Korean comfort food, which in recent years has been expanding its presence on global dining tables. Our An Sung-jin covers the celebration of culture.
Kimchi, a traditional Korean side dish made from fermented vegetables, mostly Napa cabbage or radish. It's a staple for Koreans and often seen as a representative food of the country. But now, more and more foreigners come to enjoy the unique Korean dish.
This Kimchi Academy in Seoul offers the opportunity to experience making the entire process of kimchi, from preparing the ingredients and mixing it into the final product.
When we travel, we like to do some cooking classes because cooking is just such a cool reflection of culture in a particular area, and it's hard to think of something that's more Korean than kimchi.
And learning how to make handmade kimchi was really a very eye-opening experience. Yeah.
The instructor said she's very proud to see foreigners come enjoy the value of the traditional dish.
Before the pandemic, a lot of visitors from Asia came to make kimchi. But after COVID-19 and with the spread of Korean culture, more visitors from around the world have come and shown interest.
It's a dish on the table almost every day for Koreans, but what's the significance behind consuming it?
For a lot of people these days, it's difficult to consume food with vegetables in it. But one way to obtain minerals and vitamins is through kimchi. Because it is composed of so many ingredients, it contains probiotics, anti-cancer bacteria, and antioxidants.
Kimchi pleases palates and is full of nutrients, but the process of making kimchi is what makes it even more Korean.
Food has become a big part of understanding Korean culture. Kimchi is not just a dish. It is a dish that bonds people together and unites them and solidifies communities. And it's probably the most important dish for the Korean nation.
This vegetable-based dish is the essence in fostering Korean culture, not only for those Koreans living abroad, but also for those who are getting to know about Korea. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
Over in the U.S., former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi has been tapped as Team Trump's new choice to head the Justice Department. Our Iani explains.
U.S. President-elect Trump has nominated the former Attorney General of Florida, Pam Bondi, as his U.S. Attorney General pick. Trump announced the decision on social media on Thursday, highlighting Bondi's nearly 20-year career as a prosecutor and Florida's first female attorney general, calling her smart and tough and an America First fighter. In his post, Trump said, quote, "For too long, the partisan Department of Justice has been weaponized against me and other Republicans. Not anymore. Pam will refocus the Department of Justice to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again." The announcement also came just a few hours after the withdrawal of Trump's previous nominee, former U.S. Representative Matt Gaetz. He has been investigated by the House Ethics Committee over allegations of sexual misconduct and drug use, which he denies. Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration, saying that he had become a distraction for Trump as allegations against him resurfaced. The House Ethics Committee has reportedly investigated Gaetz on and off since 2021 over various allegations, including misuse of campaign funds, accepting bribes, sharing inappropriate images on the House floor, using illegal drugs, and sex with a minor. The Department of Justice had also led an investigation related to the underage sex allegations, but did not file charges against Gaetz. Trump's new pick to lead the Justice Department, 59-year-old Pam Bondi, has worked closely with him on legal and policy matters, including serving as one of his lawyers during his first impeachment trial. Recently, she helped lead the America First Policy Institute, a think tank working with Trump's campaign to shape policy for his next administration. 이은희, Arirang News.
The South Korean government and the ruling People Power Party agreed to provide continued legislative and budgetary support to strengthen key strategic industries in preparation for the potential America First policies anticipated under a second Trump administration. The two decided on Friday to closely monitor U.S. policies and promote stronger trade and industrial ties with Washington by engaging with key officials. They also plan to stabilize and strengthen the domestic stock market by implementing value-up funds as a short-term solution and working on improving the market structure over time. To prioritize small business owners and the self-employed, the issuance of onnuri gift certificates will be expanded to help boost the economy. Frequent fires caused by lithium batteries in factories that produce them as well as electric vehicles have been a growing concern. With an urgency to come up with an alternative battery, a team of local researchers seems to have discovered a new technology that may bring the commercialization of one sooner, the sodium-ion battery. Our Eun-jin explains more.
In June, a fire broke out at a lithium battery producing factory. Even with efforts to extinguish the fire, the factory was filled with smoke. Recently, various things that use lithium batteries, such as electric vehicles, have become leading causes of fire. And so, amidst the sense of urgency to find a cheaper and safer alternative to lithium, sodium, a key element of salt, is gaining attention. Accordingly, a local team of researchers has developed a technology that can quickly produce hard carbon cathode materials, a key component for sodium-ion batteries, a next-generation secondary battery. Because there are more than 1,000 times the reserves for sodium than lithium, it is easier to collect. And it can maintain at least 90% of its performance at temperatures as low as negative 20 degrees Celsius. It also has less risk of causing fire.
Sodium-ion batteries are less reactive than lithium, so they have good electrochemical performance and charge and discharge faster. Furthermore, they have the advantage of maintaining their performance at lower temperatures.
Sodium-ion batteries have until now been difficult to commercialize because existing cathode materials could not be used, and only a specific hard carbon cathode material is needed. The problem is that in order to produce hard carbon, hydrocarbon materials need to be burned at high temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Celsius, making the process difficult and expensive. To overcome this, the research team used a type of microwave-induced heating technology. Much like quickly heating something in the microwave, this new process produces hard carbon in just 30 seconds at over 1,400 degrees Celsius.
This technology is different from the conventional microwave technology in that it can selectively heat conductive materials at very high speed.
They also added that additional research will continue to improve the performance of hard carbon and to mass produce it so that commercialization of sodium-ion batteries could happen sooner. 이은진, Arirang News.
And time now for our weekly arts and culture segment. For more, we have our culture correspondent Song Yujin in the studio with us today. Welcome, Yujin.
Happy Friday, Eunji.
Happy Friday. So what do you have for us today, Yujin?
Well, Eunji, I don't know if you remember, but back in May, I covered the opening of the South Korea-Italy Year of Cultural Exchange Rome, which is a celebration of the two countries' 140 years of diplomatic relations. So with just over a month left in 2024, For this week, I sat down with the Italian ambassador to discuss how cultural diplomacy is bringing the two countries closer.
2024 has been an exceptionally busy year for Emilia Gatto, the Italian ambassador to South Korea. This year marks the 140th anniversary of diplomatic relations between South Korea and Italy, as well as the launch of their Year of Cultural Exchange project.
Everything is inserted in a certain, context of trying to promote relations between Italy and Korea.
A variety of events, ranging from photo and painting exhibitions to traditional dance and opera performances, have been taking place in both Korea and Italy. Having served in Korea for just over a year, Ambassador Gatto says she has been consistently amazed by the similarities between the two countries.
They are really very passionate people, people who love culture, but really so much. Love culture, love art, have a lot of curiosity. So I always say that to me, Koreans are a sort of the Italians of Asia.
This shared passion, she explains, forms the backbone of the relationship between the two countries.
We are countries that consider culture as part of ourselves. So, and culture may have also function to relax, and relax relations, relax moments of the culture to create the better condition for diplomacy, for relations, for knowing each other better.
Among the many cultural exchange programs, the exhibition, The Master of Light, Caravaggio and His Descendants, stands out. Currently on display at the Seoul Art Center, it brings a significant collection of works from one of Italy's most renowned artists to Korea.
After Leonardo and Michelangelo, more or less, we have Caravaggio in Italy. And this is the first time that we succeed to bring in Korea a very large amount of original paintings of Caravaggio and of the Caravaggeschi.
While these exchanges have already brought Italian art, history, and cuisine closer to Koreans, and Korea's K-pop and K-beauty closer to Italians, Ambassador Gatto believes there's still much more to explore.
For us, this is a moment of opportunity to show you this aspect of our culture that is very strong. Basic science research. You can catch this opportunity to let people know about your ancestral culture, your heritage. I don't think there is another country where a language, the writing was fully invented.
Looking ahead, Ambassador Gatto sees her role as more than just representing Italy in Korea. She hopes she can serve as a bridge connecting her home country and the country she's always wanted to work.
I wish also to be Korean ambassador to Italy. I want to find the good things of Italy, to promote them in Korea. And I want also to detect the fantastic things that you have, which are many, in Korea, of Korea, that I'm sure Italians would love if they knew it better. Grazie to you. 감사합니다.
So, Eugene, you mentioned the Caravaggio exhibition as one of the highlights of South Korea and Italy's cultural exchange program this year. Can you tell us more about this event and what we can look forward to next year?
Sure. So the exhibition, The Master of Light, Caravaggio and His Descendants, it features 57 artworks by Caravaggio, his followers, that is, artists who were influenced by his artistic style, and also other prominent Italian artists who worked during the 17th century Baroque era. So notably, 3 pieces by Caravaggio, The Incredulity of St. Thomas, The Taking of Christ, and The Tooth Puller, which you are seeing on the screen, are being showcased in Korea for the first time. So you can visit this whole art center's official website for more details. And as for other events, according to Ambassador Gov't, we may see more iconic exhibitions like this next year, potentially one featuring Leonardo da Vinci. So I can say that there's plenty to look forward to next year as well.
All right, thank you for that report, Eugene.
Always a pleasure.
Today's Soseul on the lunar calendar, which is the second seasonal term of winter. Tomorrow, lows will plummet to 1 degree Celsius in Seoul. It will feel like below 0 with frigid air in the morning. Other areas such as Daegwallyeong in Gangwon-do province will see a much colder morning tomorrow. Please dress extra warm. This weekend will be the last chance to enjoy late autumn conditions with sunny skies during the daytime. However, at one point in the afternoon, the east coast areas of Gyeongsang-buk-do province will receive a little rain. In the middle of next week, there's a possibility of the first snow falling in Seoul, Jeollabuk-do province, and inland areas of Gyeongsang-buk-do province. Tomorrow, Seoul, Gwangju, Daegu, and Gyeongju will start off at 1 degree, Daejeon -1 degree. Highs will move up to 13 in Daegu, Gyeongju, and Jeju, Busan 16 degrees. There's rain forecast across the country on Tuesday next week. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
Now that is Newscenter for tonight, but do stay with us for our panel session coming up next.